was a crisp morning when I first set foot in Darjeeling, a town nestled in the heart of the eastern Himalayas. With a day's time on my hands before the end of my solo journey, I decided to explore a little more. The locals had recommended a place nearby, Dao Hill in Kurseong, known for its eerie reputation as much as its natural beauty. A whisper of mystery clung to the misty forested area, and hearing about its ghostly legends piqued my curiosity. My trip had already been filled with breathtaking landscapes, but something about this place seemed to stir the air in a different way. I had no idea what I was getting myself into. The journey to Kurseong was an adventure in itself. After hiring a bike, I wove through the winding roads, my thoughts distracted by the stories I had heard earlier. The locals had warned me, but they had also emphasized the beauty that awaited. A town of quiet serenity, they claimed, but filled with its own sinister charm. As the miles passed, I felt the atmosphere grow heavier. The roads became narrower, the mist deeper, and I couldn't help but notice that even the birds' calls had turned sparse. I reached Dao Hill after about 2 hours, my nerves alight with a mix of excitement and apprehension, and there it was, standing before me like a scene ripped from an old Gothic novel, mist swirling around towering trees, the dense forest stretching into oblivion. The air was cooler here, and the quiet was almost suffocating. A few scattered houses dotted the landscape, their windows like hollow eyes staring into the unknown. Despite the beauty of the surroundings, an odd feeling crept in. The place was stunning, no doubt, but there was something unsettling about it. I paused for a moment to collect my thoughts, taking in the quiet. The kind of silence that wasn't peaceful, but instead, heavy with secrets. Locals spoke of the haunting shrieks that could be heard in the dead of night, the unnerving presence of unseen eyes following your every move. Some said they were the restless spirits of children who had mysteriously disappeared over the years. Others spoke of a woman, a spirit in white, wandering the forests in search of lost souls. I didn't buy into it, not at first. After a moment of hesitation, I strapped my camera bag to my shoulder and set off into the forest. The atmosphere grew denser as I ventured further, the trees towering over me, casting long, eerie shadows. My boots crunched the damp earth beneath, the only sound breaking the oppressive silence. I kept my camera ready, snapping photos of the mist-draped trees and the occasional burst of sunlight that fought its way through the canopy. The forest was enchanting, yet its strange, almost otherworldly quietude made it feel like I was intruding on something sacred. As I ventured deeper, a strange chill ran through my spine. I shrugged it off, blaming it on the cold air. But then, as I lifted my camera to frame a shot, I noticed something in the distance. A pair of gray eyes staring at me through the underbrush. I froze, my heart pounding in my chest. I lowered my camera slowly. But the eyes remained, unblinking, cold. They were too large to be those of an animal. And the way they gazed at me, unyielding, felt unnatural, as if they were watching my every move, studying me. The hairs on the back of my neck stood on end. I squinted, trying to make sense of the situation. The eyes didn't blink, nor did they move, just fixed on me with an intensity that sent a shiver through my body. For a split second, I thought I saw a figure move behind them, but when I tried to focus, there was nothing there. Then, it happened. A sharp, shrill shriek split the air, so sudden and deafening that I thought my heart might stop in my chest. The sound was like nothing I had ever heard, a blend of agony and anger, an echo of something deeply wrong. It pierced the silence of the forest, reverberating through the trees. I turned, my heart racing, my body acting on pure instinct. I didn't hesitate for a second. I bolted back towards the path, my footsteps pounding on the earth as the shriek echoed in my ears. The camera bag bounced against my back, but I didn't care. My mind was consumed with only one thought: get to safety. My breath came in short gasps as I sprinted back toward the road, my thoughts a jumble of fear and disbelief. I barely noticed the fog thickening around me, the trees closing in on both sides as if they were trying to trap me. The sound of my footsteps mingled with the distant whispers of the forest, and for a moment, I thought I could hear faint whispers behind me. Low murmurs, like voices speaking in a language I didn't understand, growing louder with every step I took. When I finally reached my bike, I wasted no time in mounting it, my hands trembling as I gripped the handlebars. I started the engine, the growl of the motor breaking the unnatural stillness. But as I revved the bike and prepared to speed away, I glanced into the rearview mirror. For just a moment, I saw her, a figure. Pale and faint, standing at the edge of the forest, just beyond the reach of the mist. She was draped in white, her long hair flowing like a river of shadows. Her eyes were wide, unblinking, staring straight at me, as though she knew I had seen her, and she was waiting. Before I could blink, she was gone. The rest of the ride back to Darjeeling was a blur, the fear of what I had witnessed still fresh in my mind. Every rustle of leaves, every faint sound in the distance made my heart race. I didn't stop to look behind me, not once. I just wanted to escape, to distance myself from the nightmare I had encountered in that forest. Even now, when I close my eyes, I can still see those eyes staring at me from the mist, still hear that haunting shriek that echoed in the depths of Dow Hill. The forest may be beautiful, but there's something dark lurking in its depths. And I wonder if, one day, it will call to me again, but for now, I'm content to leave that place in my memories. Some things are better left unexplored.